and gentlemen, good afternoon and a very warm welcome to the Digital Entertainment Summit 2025 presented by Storyboard 18. We gather here today in an era where stories transcend words, creators craft entire universes, and gamers redefine economic landscapes. It's an age where screens aren't merely devices for entertainment, they evolve alongside us. In this dynamic scenario, India stands at the heart of innovation, not just participating in, but actively shaping the future of digital entertainment. To kick off our conversations today, please welcome Honorable Secretary, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Shri Sanjay Jaju, for his special address.
Friends, it's again a moment of great privilege and honor that you took pains to invite me to your gathering. I really feel great when I sit with the industry. Waves was not an event, as the Honorable Prime Minister mentioned. Waves is a movement that is being created. Waves is a movement being created for all of you, for the industry, for the content creators, because this is synonymous with our growth as a nation. This is synonymous with the demography that we currently are in, the youth, the young, that vibrancy of the demography that we have right now. And the media and entertainment industry is completely synonymous with this particular projection. And for our soft presence to flourish across the world, to blossom across the world, it's important that the message that all of us together crafted when we did Waves continues, the spirit continues, the passion continues, the vibrancy continues. When we did Waves, while we had the presence of the traditional, as we call them, film segment, etc., there was a much bigger importance, or if not much bigger, at least an equal importance laid out to the techie sector, the tech sector. The gaming pavilion, as was set up, the Bharat Gaming Pavilion, which had so many gaming companies showcasing their prowess and their content. And you had the streaming platforms, which again forms a very important pillar and part of the overall digital media and entertainment landscape. And you also had the presence of large number of studios doing animation, VFX and post-production work. You had the presence of the audio streaming companies, the music companies in the digital realm. And of course, you had this whole social media and the creator economy present during Waves. And I think all these form the overall rubric of the digital entertainment landscape. And believe me, friends, for our country where digital first are the ethos, our vision is to make India not just a participant, but a vanguard in the global entertainment ecosystem. And there are three pillars. The first one is the creative excellence, where India becomes a global storytelling powerhouse, which produces content that resonates emotionally and intellectually across geographies. Second is where all of you sit today, the digital innovation, where our creators and platforms pioneer the use of cutting-edge technologies, immersive technologies like AI, XR, VR, and they make that content become exceptional and experiential. And the third is inclusive growth, where we get talent from every corner of our country, across languages that we have, the diversity that our country possesses. And that's how we will be able to not just create content for entertainment, but that content will also be having the value of inspiration. So all of you, my friends, let's co-create with our talent, with create Indian IPs in media and entertainment landscape. Allow our stories to go far and wide. And that's how we'll get global investors to come in, the global technology platforms to come in and partner with us. The time is come and the future is now. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, Ashima, for that wonderful context setting. And thank you so much, Mr. Jayesh Ranjan, for joining us. Gaming sector. Now, this is a sector that is seeing strong growth in India, but there are, of course, certain regulatory hurdles. Now, you've often said that blanket bans or prohibitions don't work. What is the kind of ecosystem that we need in the industry, in the country, to make sure that the gaming industry flourishes?
The solution which was typically deployed, like just ban all the gaming companies, ban the gaming apps, I have repeatedly taken that stand that is not the solution. And even now I'm mentioning this, even though my state has been one of the states which has banned online gaming. But as I said, that is not the solution. But again, so as you would know, in the national guidelines which have come on gaming, the solution which has been suggested is that there should be self-regulatory bodies, SRBs. The general feedback is that this methodology also has not really succeeded. There is what is called as elite capture. There is too much of fragmentation in the industry. One company may belong to one association, someone else may not allow someone else to kind of become a part of this. So a third kind of a model is being discussed and debated. In fact, some of the members in the audience might have participated in the online consultation which we had organized approximately a month ago, in which we had tried to suggest that can we still go ahead with ethical, positive way of game development, gaming, etc., without having these self-regulatory bodies. And some solution has been given. I don't want to speak much about it. It's not a easily palatable solution. There are some red flags around it also. But eventually we have to converge to some view in which the negatives, the flip sides of the gaming aspect are taken care of, avoided, pointed out at the very early instant, nipped in the bud. It is like so many other industries also. A few black sheep eventually tarnish the whole industry. And instead of waiting for someone from outside to police them and catch them and arrest them and all that, the industry has to do it. But then there is so much of fragmentation in the industry that is not happening. So I'm trying to promote or advocate a third method. And if enough traction and support is there, then Telangana will be very happy to introduce that legally and move ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ranjan, for a wonderful conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Mr. Ranjan.
Thank you very much. Thanks, everyone.
Our next panel, online gaming, a key contributor to India's trillion-dollar economy. And moderating this session is Ashish Fedwani, leader, media and entertainment sector at EY India. Ashish, can we have you on stage? And joining him, please welcome our first panelist, Roland Landers, CEO, All India Gaming Federation. Our second panelist is Saloni Sehgal, founder and managing partner, Lumikai. And last but not the least, please welcome on stage Meghna Bal, director, SCR Center.
Where would you see this number of gamers, Roland, in say 3 years, 5 years from now? Where will be our peak? Is there a peak? I don't know, Salome, you want to take that because you do all the deals, you have all the future projections.
Yeah, you know, I think let's put this number in context, right? Like people keep wondering about what this number is, why, and forget the math of it, forget the enormity of the number. Go on the airport, like take a look around. What do you see people doing when they're waiting? They're either watching video content or they're playing games. But if you were to try and understand the psychology of it, is why is it so popular? Because the value per price proposition for gaming is very high, right? India is a country where you have 6 cinema screens for 1 million people. Physical infrastructure doesn't exist. You don't have great quality of life outside. So where are people going to spend their entertainment time? And we've now moved from family screens to your personalized mobile screen.
We has a reach of 830 million Indians.
Sure.
Will gaming get there?
Absolutely, 100%.
By when?
There's no doubt about it. I'd say in the next 5 years.
Wow, that's a big thing.
But gaming is already bigger than cricket revenues. It's already bigger than box office revenues. Box office last year, footfalls declined from 930 odd something footfalls down to 880. It's actually declined. Gaming, on the other hand, actually grew 20% in terms of number of gamers. It's growing at double-digit growth rates. Now, everybody understands compounded annual growth rates. I don't have to explain that. But you can just see where that trajectory goes. So 100%.
Wow, I'm shocked. Meghna, key trends you're seeing that will continue to drive this growth into the future?
Right. So we did a study a couple of years ago where we looked at had survey data from, or we took a survey of 2,000 users across India, and we also looked at app data for 20 lakh users. And what we found are some interesting things. You know, gaming is often painted with a kind of broad brush, but it encompasses so many different types of engagement. And gamification really spans the gamut of sectors. So for instance, the research has found that it's had huge benefits in health and education, in like motivating people to stick with their regimen, which is beneficial for both the patient as well as the doctor, the healthcare provider. And similarly in education, it's helped with knowledge retention, etc.
But so we do a lot of these interactive games, right? Now, when we launched the KBC Play Along game, which is a knowledge-based game, we got a massive uptake. In that season, it was 32 million people who played the game, uniques. But when we did it on IPL, which was a predictive game, right, which is saying how many runs will be scored in the next over, how many wickets will fall in the next over, that got over 100 million uniques over one season. So where do you see, what's going to be really driving the growth? Is it going to be the hardcore knowledge-based games? Or is it going to be the other kind of games, the predictive stuff and the more entertainment stuff?
I don't think it's a zero-sum game between these. I know often things in the attention economy are presented as, kind of negating each other, where if one is doing well, the other is not. But I think it's a combination of things. So I think that, yes, real money gaming is successful because it is entertaining. It is a way not only to interact with a sport that you enjoy, but also to interact with your friends.
Salome, where do you see us in a steady state?
Well,
how relevant will we be?
Let me answer that question a little bit differently, right? Pre-1990s, we only had state television. Satellite happened. The only content that got beamed into our homes was American television. Everybody said, hey, we're exporting content, but we all grew up watching Bold and the Beautiful and Santa Barbara and Beverly Hills. It took about 5-6 years for domestic production houses to emerge. SL came, Z came, Balaji came, and we got first mass market, privately owned television where you got Hum Panch and all of that. But today, if you look at the entertainment palette in India, for every White Lotus and Squid Game, you have a Panchayat and a Family Man. So one has to understand the comparisons that we are making, right? If you're comparing a 4-year-old industry to industries where gaming has been entrenched for nearly 3 decades, like the US or Japan or Korea, that comparison is not relevant.
From your point of view, I've got a slightly different question for you.
I just wanted to respond to your earlier question where you said that, prediction games saw so much more uptake than education games. Slightly lower barrier to entry there, right? Because with an education game, you have to have a certain degree of knowledge to start engaging with that game. Whereas, like things related to fantasy sports, everyone enjoys sports. Watching sports on TV, way more accessible, right? And it's something that a wider range of people engage with. So just responding to that there. Just on Salone's point, TV did really well in the 90s, and I think we had some great potential, not only for mass market, but really some innovative programming. And then the TRAI came in 2004 and kind of slammed that sector, right? And that's been the story for the last 20 years, where we have 850 million TV homes, but there is, it's dying essentially, a slow death.
It's coming down 6 to 8 million a year.
Yeah, because it's just not able to recuperate investment because of the TRAI, and that is it. If you're talking about the future of any industry in this country, you have to think about it coterminously with regulation, and is regulation going to kill it? Just 1 minute. I think that, first we need to kind of contextualize digital entertainment and where gaming stands. So again, in our study, we found that While social media, 89% of the users we saw social media had daily active engagement, it was far lower for gaming. And even in terms of money spent, it's about 200 to 400 rupees a month on OTT, but about 100 rupees on average on gaming. And real money gaming is a even smaller segment of that, somewhere between 5%.
Okay.
So I think that is one important consideration. The other important consideration, because gaming, as Sir indicated, is often spoken about in the context of public health. But what I want to ask, and is a question back to the state and to parents, is that what is really being done to afford better public health outcomes? Because, for instance, if you restrict screen time, empirically it shows, empirically it's been shown that it has absolutely no no benefits for anyone. It's also, and also the other consideration is that in this country, many cities, you can't go out. Either public parks, you have to pay to enter them. So, they're limited scope for outdoor activity. In Delhi, we can't go out most of the months of the year, either because of the weather, and it's polluted basically throughout the year. In the winter, it's much worse. Yeah, so in terms of public health, if we're going to talk about public health, I think we need to consider these larger kinds
Fair
of
point,
dimensions
but
instead of
we're out of
focusing
time
on
now.
platforms.
It
Yeah.
could be a whole different discussion. Thank you very much, all of you.
Our next panel discussion dives into a topic that's both timely and crucial: responsible digital entertainment. Please welcome Storyboard 18's Imran Fazal. Imran, can we have you back on stage? Ananay Jain, partner at Grant Thornton. Big round of applause for Ananay. Our second panelist is Piyush, founder and CEO of Router. And we have Piyush here. And last but not the least, Shivani Jha, founder of EPWA and a strong voice in esports and digital rights advocacy.
Anand, I just want to understand, how do you look at industry-wide standards and codes of conduct in the, especially when there is no law or regulations around it?
Yeah. So Imran, if you look at it, the digital entertainment industry is growing at a massive pace, and the regulatory framework is trying to catch up with it. So at this point, I think self-regulation becomes a very important tool that we have. Self-regulation, co-regulation, these are some of the important tools that we need to abide by. If you look at some of the leading OTT platforms, Disney, Hotstar, Netflix, Amazon, all of them have actually they've self-regulated themselves, and they've tried to comply with the IMI Universal Code of Conduct. And similarly, even if you look at the after effects of shows like Tandav, there's been an increasing focus on getting pre-release reviews done. And it's not just on OTT platforms perspective, but even platforms like Instagram and YouTube. They are trying to promote, so whenever they're doing a sponsored ad now, there's a tag of advertisement or sponsor that they're trying to incorporate just to bring in more transparency and user confidence, to build user confidence. And it's the same all across. So in e-gaming, we at Grant Thornton, we've been pioneering and championing the cause of code of ethics and code of conduct. I can tell you we started with 6 odd companies of one federation wherein we launched it. There were 200 odd checks that we defined. We asked them to get themselves tested on those checks. Those checks were around age gating, KYC norms, safe play, ethical advertisement. All of these aspects were covered. And now on 10th March, the 3 federations together, they've signed up for it. And it's a time-based activity that they've actually signed up for. So every company above 100 crores, they've given 6 months, and then every company below 100 crores, they have 9 months to comply with the code of ethics. So self-regulation is the way forward, and I believe that's where the industry is moving. And until the time the laws and the frameworks are set in place, I think this can be an important initiative that the industry takes to showcase to government, users, everybody that we as an industry are trying to self-regulate and be compliant.
Shivani, with multiple states, regulating online gaming, don't you think there is a need for an unified law which, caters to the entire sector? Do you think that can be achieved, or what are the contentions to unified law in the country right now?
So, you know, there are no online gaming laws. Online gaming exists as an exception to gambling. Yes, while there is, of course, the center regulates online gaming and states have the power to regulate gambling, so they have the power to ban gambling activities. But I mean, that's a really long debate of how states have overarched their powers to actually get into the ambit of regulating gaming, calling it gambling. So, while, I mean, the only uniform law that we have right now is the IT rules, which say that a self-regulatory body should be set up, which will then decide through a given mechanism which game is permissible online game or not. Otherwise, each game has to ultimately end up standing test of law in court. And, you know, while poker, rummy, skill form of Ludo, what Roland was saying, they've all gone to court and got themselves tested. Nobody in their right mind is ever going to take chess to court. Nobody in their right mind will ever take FIFA to court. Does that mean that they are not skill games because they're not court approved? To avoid all of this conversation and confusion, of course, a unified online gaming law is necessary. It's not that it doesn't exist, it does. It's not executed yet. There are nodal ministries that are supposed to regulate online gaming or esports in a certain way, but it's not happening yet. And while these discussions and forums actually help create a solution, the problem still, I mean, the problem still exists.
And Imran, if I can just add to her. So if you look at it, the best game of skill in the world is chess, right? And if you ask a professional chess player, he'll tell you that the toss of whether he plays white or black actually has a result on the outcome. So there is an element of chance even in the best game of skill.
How responsibly the platforms, policymakers, and the users, can collaborate to create a very safe environment and in the ecosystem. So starting with you, Shivani.
See, I think legal literacy, awareness, and right representation are the three important aspects of such a complex digital world that we're entering. There is no way that people are not going to stop playing online games. It's only going to increase over a period of time. It's only, I mean, more and more people will just keep getting exposed. There will be more formats. So just like anything digital that in the beginning is new and seems draconic, this may have probably crossed that stage online gaming because it's almost a profession now for a large number of people. It becomes more of a need to protect them. So you're right. I mean, without the collaboration of these three sectors, it's just almost impossible to create a safe gaming environment.
Yeah, I think co-regulation and self-regulation will become critical. It has to be a collaborative effort of the industry, academia, and the policymakers together. So that's the way forward.
Rightly used. I mean, collaboration is key to success, as you mentioned. On that note, yeah, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for being with us. Great panel. Thank you.